Well, it's Tuesday, and you know what that means. But best yet, it's nighttime at Kansas. Now, you know what they say about nighttime in IndyCar racing. Nighttime is the right time for IndyCar racing. Hello again, everybody. I'm Gary Gotzo. Welcome to P1 Broadcasting coverage of Round 10 of Season 3 of the 2024 IndyCar Oval Series. Tuesday night top split on ERN, coming to you from Kansas Speedway. We got a packed booth here, so we'll just get down to it. We got about 1 minute left here in qualifying. There are your track and temperature conditions on your screen right now. Stephen Larkamp is here. Justin Petschauer is here. The infamous LGN is here, and also making a cameo appearance, looking like that he might have a good shot. We're not going to jinx him, though, but he's doing really, really well in the Pro Series. Nick Sudik. So, guys, starting in that order, Steven, let's kick her off. We got a couple races here left to go in the season, and it's just really coming down to who's going to finish best in class behind Robert Malechka, and that's either going to be Oster, Klendy, or the bad guy. Trost is in the lineup today.
Yep, and two of those names that you talked about are in the lineup. That's Brandon Trost and
Klendy.
Kyle Clemworth. Yeah, Klendy there, definitely in the lineup here tonight. Klendy down in 10th position, though, but this is really going to come down to a real battle between them for the remaining spots in the championship and up towards the front of the field. These guys, and what a race to be having this here. We had a banger of a night race at one of the last mile-and-a-half tracks. We went to a Kentucky Speedway, and we just had a massive pack race at California. Yeah. And I think we're going to have I guess you could say a healthy mix of what we saw in those races here tonight. And given what we saw there, I think we're going to have a lot of fun.
Justin, we're gridding up right now. We had a pretty good night compared to the Truck Series going to Watkins Glen. That normally means we have some guys in the lineup that we don't see all the time. We've got a couple names here, but not an awful lot. A lot of the regular, the regular offenders, so to speak, that we'd like to say. No, the regulars of the series are in the lineup tonight.
Yeah, indeed. It was 81 to about 78 on the difference between here and the Truck Series at Watkins Glen. Now, the Truck Series in real life no longer goes to Watkins Glen, which is critical in my opinion, because that's one of the best road circuits around, even in a stock car. But that being said, I think everybody else is either watching the Coke Series from Michigan, where the Real Life Cup Series is at this weekend, or they're running tonight here at Kansas, or they're prepping for 260 laps starting tomorrow night in the iRacing IndyCar Series at Gateway, which will be live tomorrow night.
9 p.m. Eastern.
9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific.
Yeah.
With that being said, let's get into the starting grid.
Let's go into the starting grid. Let's get the music cleaned up, or queued up. That's what I want to say. Shall we get into the starting lineup, Steven?
And on the pole, Trey Shadid, a longtime member of the series, but up at the front of the field once again on these fast tracks. Shadid on pole by 5 1/1000ths of a second. Alongside him will be Adriano Fraporti. Really good qualifying run for the number 7 machine. Can he keep it up there? Right behind them is going to be Mark Murphy in the number 2. Starting off in 3rd place. Alongside him, Alan Morea. Very good qualifying run for the 16 machine. Let's see what he can do tonight. Seb Alexander, very fast as usual, running the number 4 car in 5th place, alongside Urim Rubens, who has had a lot of good shows of performance recently in the 20 machine, starting off in 6th. Ty Quilla, fast the last few weeks, but just got caught up by bad luck last time out at Auto Club, will start 7th, alongside Bruno Romanzini in the 13 machine in 8th. Matthew Ponto will be 9th in the 14, alongside one of those championship contenders we were talking about, the number 3 of Kyle Clemworth. Klendy will be starting off 10th, so he's got some work to do. Antonio Estrada, old friend of the show, of course, will be starting off 11th in the number 9, alongside Mitch Davids, number 15 and 12. Jacob Collins in the 13th place will be starting off 11th and starting the number 11 car, alongside the 10 of Stephen Lee in 14th. Stephen's got a lot of work to do here. Dustin Cares had a solid performance going last time out at Auto Club, but again was caught out there by an incident, alongside the 16th place Wes Weedman, the number 8. Brandon Trost, one of the championship contenders, all the way down towards the back of the field in 17th. He's got a lot of work to do, alongside the 21 of Phillip Allen, the last of your qualifiers. Nathan Cerna will start 19th in the 17 machine. Michael Lounsbury will be 20th in number 18 machine in a Kyle Larson livery. And as we go green, didn't quite get there in time, but Trace did on the throttle immediately into turn number 1 for Porty, trying to tuck in the toe here, but already under pressure from Murphy and Alexander.
Coming off of turn 2, you got the...
Oh! Porty weaving already, trying to hold off Murphy and Urim Rubens. What was that all about? We're only working lap 1 to 70, folks.
That was a little sketchy, but they made it through as they come by to complete lap number 1. Going up into turn number 1, you see a couple of cars already getting that draft going off through the corners here, but you want to try and find clean air as best you can. And the one thing that that IndyCar does share here, they can run the high, middle, and low line, much like their stock car counterparts, except you'll see the stock car counterparts mainly run up against the wall because for them, that's really the only ideal line.
This is very true. It's a bit of a different banking from the low line to the high line here, and Mark Murphy now up into P2 using the low line to his advantage, but I'm seeing some drivers already starting to make their way up to the high line. Seb Alexander looks like is one of them. Just got around Urim Rubens to get back up into 4th place. So these drivers have a lot of options to work with, and with the cooler track temp, they got a lot of grip to work with.
Yeah, at night the tracks can get really grippy at night, depending on what type of weather conditions you have. And so far, from what I'm seeing out here, outside of the booth here, ain't too bad.
Looking at it, it's about 76-degree track temp, 73 ambient. So this is some pretty chill asphalt by a lot of the standards we've seen lately, especially last time out in California. Seb Alexander and Urim Rubens, I'm looking back there, fighting it out for 4th place. Urim on the low side has the edge of the moment. Can Seb get that launch on the high line yet again? Looks like he will.
What in God's name is Clindy driving?
I noticed that too.
What is that? What is that?
That is a Kyle Larson Rookie of the Year livery in the most obnoxious way imaginable.
That is awful.
Yeah, for those checking in for the first time, and there'll likely be some few, you never know. That is not what Clendy normally runs. His liveries are definitely a lot more professional looking than that. I think he's just having some fun with that one, but yeah, not what I would pick. But he's already taking it towards the front.
40. Just taking that Brazilian clear and living with it.
Oh man, the Brazilian clear is already coming in as Murphy chops his nose off down on the low line there. Moving back up into P2, and Murphy putting the pressure on his good friend and former teammate. Whoa! Was Clendy forced onto the apron, and look at him go from 10th on the grid up to 3rd by lap number 8. And for Porty now trying to get the run back up on that high line, Clendy is on a mission.
On a mission is an understatement, I'll say.
Oh yeah, and I'm looking behind him, Bruno Romanzini on the attack. On the low side of Adriano for Porty. So Romanzini up a couple of spots already in this race. Really good run from him. Up into 5th.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about the weather here to deviate off topic of what we're seeing on track here. The relative humidity, it's toasty. It's 88%. So that might be the contributing factor of why we're seeing a mix of pack racing and single file racing, so to say.
Yeah, pretty much, and kind of a way that we saw a few weeks ago at Kentucky Speedway, in a track that doesn't quite have the banking of Kansas, but at a similar length, and we're seeing a even bigger pack run than we had here. And I think those track conditions you talked about, Justin, they are contributing to that big time tonight. And look at Romanzini again on the attack on the low side for Porty. Romanzini already playing some aggressive moves here, and it looks like you could definitely get away with a lot of aggression here as Clendy gets right up onto the gearbox of Mark Murphy in 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place. Car numbers 1, 2, and 3.
Do you ever think the Brazilian drivers give each other a little extra room?
They don't need
Oh, look at this 3 wide. Aaron Rubens from Porty Lee. Woo.
Oh, man, getting chippy already here. We're only working lap number 12 of 70 here tonight at Kansas Speedway. Urim Rubens in the middle of that tussle there. One of the big losers right now is Adriano Porty, who started second on the grid and has lost spots down to 7th place behind Urim Rubens and Stephen Lee. And Stephen Lee, I'll note, look at him go 14th to 6th. What a charge by the 10 machine.
Fantastic charges that go off at a turn number 1 and 2 here. A couple of cars are still side by side up near the front. They get back down to single files. They go down the backstretch here.
Oh, look at Ty Quilla down low. 2 cars going into 3. Now he's on the bottom side of Stephen Lee.
David on the wall.
Came close to getting alongside a third one there, but Ty Quilla already on the charge. One of another fast guys that struggled in qualifying, really putting his foot down here on the low side, and he gets around Stephen Lee for 5th. Ty Quilla on the charge in the number 6 NVIDIA machine.
Right, see what happened to Mitch David there.
Ponto and David.
Yeah, let's see what happens. David, did he get the run? Try to go to the inside? Oh, that's what happened, and Ponto just came up on him. Ponto in a bit of a
stickler there.
Yeah, but he's in a bit of a throwback livery there, I think, to a former Pat Patrick livery. But yeah, putting David into the wall. That's early night for Mitch David.
I hate to interrupt, but guys, look who's sitting 10th right now and charging his way up to the field.
Brandon Trost,
the bad guy.
He kind of has been a heel these last few weeks, but there's no denying Brandon Trost has a lot of determination, a lot of commitment. Started 17th on the grid. I think he's sandbagged a little bit on that one, but already up to 10th and fighting out with Urim Rubens for 9th place and clears him around the high side.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people really know how good Trost is. I mean, you really have to look at his stats to see how long he's been in iRacing and how long he has been racing on this sim. I mean, he's been racing since his early teens here. I think he's in his 20s right now. He has over 5,000 starts, over 1,000 wins. He has competed in over 250,000 laps. This guy, despite getting into incidents with some other people, I mean, he really is I would say, one of the most experienced IndyCar drivers out there, period.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. He was around when I first started iRacing back in 2013, and I started driving the Indy cars around that same, a little bit after I started. And Trost was definitely a name I saw even in that time. So Brandon is definitely an established figure, and one of those established figures, maybe not so much in the Mark Martin sense, where people like really like and appreciate him, probably more in the Paul Tracy sense, where you respect what he can do, but he definitely can put a fender on you and chrome horn you if you do if you really fight him hard there. We saw that.
I really like Paul Tracy in the booth, and he did win the 2002 Indy 500, so you got to give him some credit.
Well, actually, I didn't that up, but yeah, Paul Tracy, like, I definitely see Brandon Trost kind of in the image of Paul Tracy there. Definitely very aggressive, experienced but aggressive, and we saw that when he was fighting it out for the win at Kansas a few weeks ago. He would not hesitate to put that car sideways to win the race, and like, that's sheer determination here. That's aggression and determination for him.
A couple of things real quick, boys. I just noticed that Seb Alexander's back to 15th. What's going on there?
What has happened to the number 4 machine? I actually saw him back there a few laps ago. I'm thinking, what happened there?
I think he's playing a smart strategy because he knows Trost is up there.
Yeah,
this
is the good guy to the bad guy of Trost.
What I think he's doing is he's honestly dropping back. They were fighting like it wasn't lap 10, lap 15. They were fighting like it was like 10, 15 to go, and I think just Seb said, I'm out. But, you know, that being said, since we did focus on Trost here, I think he's taking care of that right front a little bit. There's not a ton of tire wear here because of the track conditions. but you can have a marginal enough amount of wear difference to make sure, as we're starting to get strung out here, make sure you're leapfrogging car after car after car here. So yeah, we're gonna keep our eyes on his advancement, Phil.
I would
Also,
definitely think so. Ooh.
One retirement for the race, Mitch Davis.
Yeah, he got the wall there with Ponto. Took off his his right front, excuse me. And, yep, he is done. 20 cars still out there running. Oh, here comes, oh, jeez. Look at Seb Alexander through the middle as we're riding with him right now. Urim Rubens really had to check up, and he about went to split the difference between him and Matthew Ponto down the backstretch. So it looks like, I think you might be right. I think Seb definitely has pace based upon that move. I think he's taking care of his stuff.
Yeah, and we're only lap 25 in this race here, and we definitely got a lot of time to work with. And if you're playing the long-range game here, tire management, I think, could definitely come down to that. And look at Seb Alexander already on the move there. That's Urim Rubens he's alongside up on the high side of the track. And definitely think saving your rubber here when everyone else starts to struggle.
Whoa, boys. Easy. Wow. And here's Phillip Allen. He's like, I don't drive the Indy cars that much. I'll get in this. And, Jacob Collins back there. He's like, nah, this ain't for me. For Porty's back there. This is probably right around his alley.
Yeah, and for Porty really falling through the field right now. He's lost a few spots there, but Seb Alexander side by side with Phillip Allen at this point. Matthew Ponto just saw that and he's like, yep, I'm getting away from this for the time being, but 3 wide early on in the game. Yeah, be careful about that, fellas.
Screw this, guys. I am out of here. Richard Vasquez looking into the inside of Forporti. So Forporti continues to hemorrhage spots. Nathan Serena right behind him is going to follow him through right up to the wall for Forporti. Michael Lounsbury, Lounsbury, yes, I did say that right. He's in the Larson livery. He's kissed the wall at least once in the tri-oval area, but he's hanging out there in the back. And Morera is way in the back, pulling up the rear. I'm not sure what he's doing. He's on a strategy all of his own at the moment. But as 20 cars still running, as we started with 21, but back up front, Trey Shadid and his old mate there, Mark Murphy, 1 and 2 on the racetrack.
2 old friends going for the lead here, working lap number 29. They got a bit of a gap right now over Clendy and Stephen Lee in 3rd and 4th. And these guys, they definitely know each other very well. They're taking it easy here. They got the lead, and they just want to manage it at this point here. I think they still are, like, obviously they're still really good friends, so they're not going to be going super hard and super aggressive on each other early on in this race here as we're getting close to the halfway point.
Now, Trost was starting to really reel in Bruno Romanzini. Romanzini saw what he was doing and basically kept slamming the door shut, saying, no.
Oh, I love it. Career wins, IndyCar lit wins here in the real life racing when they used to come here. Dan Weldon, Scott Dixon each have 2. Should be no surprise that Scott Dixon has 2 wins here. Keep all this positive momentum that we picked up with all these exciting races that we've been showing you here on ERN. If you enjoy P1's coverage of the IndyCar Oval Series Tuesday night top split on ERN and you respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing. And while you're at it, don't forget to smash like and ring the bell so you don't miss out on future ERN broadcasts, including tomorrow night, the IIS, 9 p.m. Eastern. It'll be me and this guy, Antonio Estrada. We'll get him on the camera right here. Me and Antonio in the booth at Gateway. And then Thursday night, it'll be round 3 of the Warriors for Peace IndyCar Series for the Elite Racing League as they go to, Ewan Rubens down on the apron. He is loose. He is holding on to it. Oh, boy. Dustin Karras just cleared him.
That was very close. He's lost a ton of speed, and more cars are starting to get by him here. Urim Rubens in trouble there on the low side of the track. What happened here? Looks like he just lost it on his own, actually.
Yeah, got loose. Maybe heated up the right sides too much. Possibly that right rear. We're riding with him right now. He looks a little unsure of what's going on. But join us for round 3 at 7:45 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night for the Motegi Road Course. Let's get back up front. We see some 3 wide action coming up.
As I'm seeing, Stephen Lee has broken away
from... Wes Weedman! Did we just have a wheel go bad? Yes! Wes Weedman's wheel disconnected.
Wheel disconnect for Wes Weedman. And that looks like, yeah, it just sends him left, and he has stopped the car down on the apron and in the grass. No caution is out. He avoided bringing it out. But that wheel looks like he's stuck.
Yeah,
so,
this is what happens when your wheel disconnects. Watch what happens. Yeah, that is a wheel disconnect. When you see the hands in the wheel do that, he just goes right to the inside. Looks like his pedals were still working. He brought it to the complete stop, but unfortunately, that is a wheel DC. That is what we call a mechanical here in the business. So Wes Weidman is done. If he's going to tow, maybe he can reset the wheel and get back out there. But right now, the chance to win is over for Wes back in 20th.
Sad, because he was doing pretty solid early on in this race, but yeah, Wes Weidman, very unfortunate there. But thankfully, it wasn't worse for him, and it wasn't worse for anybody else. But looking at this 4-car tussle now for the lead, Kyle Clemworth, meanwhile, pops up right up alongside Mark Murphy and Stephen Lee. Very close stuff already.
While that was going on too, Trost did get past Romanzini, so he is on the hunt. He is tracking about a tenth to half a tenth a lap faster than this group in front. Is he's about to bridge the gap and be up here with the leaders. We're gonna have a 5-car little horse race here.
Nice.
Yeah, it is. It looks like, and Trost using every bit of racetrack he can to close up on this lead pack right now. Look at Clendy diving down the low side.
He just sent it.
Clears him.
That was a slide job a little bit.
And Clendy now on the attack, looking to the outside of Trace Shadid. Can he get any sort of momentum up there on that high line, I wonder? Trace has got the low line, though, and he's got no one ahead of him to worry about in terms of the draft. Clendy now with the momentum up on the high side.
Let's watch
Mark
from the
Stephen Lee interested.
Let's watch from the best seat in the house, which is the bad guy Brandon Trost. There's contact on the front stretch.
It's out.
Stephen Lee, Mark Murphy.
Yep, that was Stephen Lee and Mark Murphy that was attacked off of turn number 4. Oh my goodness. We were just having a great tussle here. Looking at this, netcode contact, but Murphy did start to drift up into the 10 machine.
And I know, we all know Mark, very clean racer, so he's not going to be happy with himself. Oof.
Yeah.
Almost gets rid of Richard Vasquez on the front stretch there. Oof.
Yeah, Vasquez was so close to being involved in that one. Brandon Trost actually asking in chat if that was intentional. No, that was definitely not intentional. That was just a racing deal. As the leaders now, lap 40, coming on the pit road for what's likely going to be their only pit stop of the night.
Yeah, we got big pit stops here.
These are going to be the money stops for certain. Shadid, Clemworth, Trost. Trost makes his way to his box. Romanzini behind him. Everyone starts to get themselves in the position. Clendy up on the jacks. Shadid gets to his box.
Yeah, we're just watching the couple angles of that replay. Let's get back to live TV now, as we can take a breath.
Yes, indeed. And lead order has not changed. It's still Shadid, Clemworth, and Trost. Your top 3 is Stephen Lee stays out for another lap, actually. And I will note Mark Murphy got the car around and back onto pit road. But I imagine that's going to be damage to deal with. He's down and away, but I'm sure that's not going to be a well-handling number 2 machine.
And that is Wes Weidman actually is rejoined. So he's back out there as well. What about Romanzini?
He got his he said he got his right front tire down to 66% of the tire.
Whoa.
You know what, guys? You know what? Actually, Mark's car might be okay. I hate to chime in here for a second, but I don't see any damage.
He seems to be tracking straight.
Yeah, no right rear damage where the contact was, no right side damage.
His steering wheel is pretty
normal.
Yeah, his steering wheel is pretty straight there.
Yeah,
I mean, he's obviously turning, so it's going to have an angle on it, but he's going to come in one more time, top off, and if he has any damage, maybe get it taken care of one more time.
Yeah, smart call, really, especially since you're towards the back of the pack anyway. But it may not be game over for Mark Murphy. Let's see what he can do here.
And Weedman will get the interesting. He will get the wave around, and he's only 1 lap down. Not now. Right now, he's 1 lap down, so he'll join the tail end of everybody on the lead lap, and he'll still be 1 lap down. So if we get another caution and he stays out, and you get the wave around again, he'll be right back in this, even with the wheel DC.
Apparently, he's none too thrilled about it because it's a Fanatec, from what he said.
Oh, well, that's why I don't race Fanatec anymore. But if you're just joining us, this is P1's coverage of the IndyCar Oval Series Tuesday night top split on ERN, coming to you from Kansas. We've completed, we're in lap 42, coming to 43 of a scheduled 70. If you enjoyed tonight's coverage, we encourage you to monetarily support us. Make sure to throw a little money to my co-host's way for their time tonight to bring you this high entertainment of Indy cars at Kansas. You can find a link to our GoFundMe campaign in the stream description. Now, we do realize times are tough. Trust me, we understand. But any donation you could throw our way is greatly appreciated. Goes toward licenses, goes toward these applications that aren't free, goes toward, maybe buying an occasional new car or new track that we have to broadcast for that we normally don't cover. Every little bit helps. So if anybody can donate, please do so. The link is in the description, and donate to our 2024 broadcast fund. Lights are out on the pace car. We're getting ready to go racing again, boys. Coming to lap 44 of 70. So just a little past the halfway point. But we should be good to go to the finish now. I don't think anyone, I think the final stops have been completed. We're fueled and tired all the way to the end, so this should be a pretty good shootout. Hate to say this, this might actually be a 30-car sprint. We'll see, or a 30-lap sprint.
It could well be with the first stint that we had there, but I think right now everyone's going to be a bit more keyed up and ready to go for the win here with that in mind. So Trey Shadid leading the way as he has pretty much all race. Green flag flies. Kyle Clenworth with Brandon Trost on his gearbox, sort of left in the dust right at the moment, but he can catch up pretty quick from everything we've seen. Ty Quilla, meanwhile, has become the interested spectator to all this.
Bit of a stack up as they were going in through 1 and 2 here in the restart.
Already getting at it. Clendy taking that middle groove with Trost up on the high line. Shadid holding the bottom of the track. Ty Quilla.
On the back.
Wow. Is that Ponto back there? Ponto was one of them.
Ponto. It's Ponto in for Porty, it looks like.
And Dustin Karras.
Dustin Karras in as well.
Holy cow.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was a big accident off of turn number 4. Trying to see who that was, the number 12. Yeah, that was Dustin Karras. Karras coming right up into Ponto, and for Porty, just an innocent bystander there, gets sent on a ride.
Oh, okay, so Ponto ran out of room, and Karras didn't give him much room, so when he bounced off the wall, he went into Karras, and then for Porty is now barrel rolling down the front stretch like a Thunderbird, and
Yep.
he does finish the lap at least. But that might be it
Small
for
victory.
Yeah, those guys are done. It looks like, unfortunately, that was a wicked hit. And you know what they say now: cautions breed cautions. And now we hear cars out there running their engines because now we have too much fuel.
Yeah, we were talking about this in pre-race.
Here we go.
With cautions breeding cautions, you get closer and closer to that finish. People, especially towards the back, are going to get more desperate and desperate. I think cooler heads will prevail here, especially with a big incident like that. But you're going to see it just ramp up more and more as we get closer to the pointed end of the field here, coming to about 20 to go by the time we start.
So we're riding with Trost right now, the bad guy, and he is doing something that this is quite familiar with a lot of the regular IndyCar drivers. If you don't drive IndyCar a lot, you're just kind of watching, you're liking this, but you're not sure what's going on. He's right now got the clutch in, and he's hitting the rev limiter in 6th gear. Explain, Nick. Explain what he's trying to do here. He's trying to lighten the load a little bit, isn't he?
Yeah, every 100th counts here. Like, especially at a track like this where, you know, 100th, 200ths of a second can make the difference in lap time of clearing somebody with a crazy move as you're coming up to speed, or even, you know, making something work with the draft. It looks pretty draft locked. It looks like the leader can hold the line like an old IRL race, but trust me, you can manufacture a move. We've seen Robert Malechka III do it many a times. That seemed impossible here. We've seen other drivers do it as well, but man, you got to keep the car as light as possible.
We got a lap to go before we go green about, but speaking of Robert, he is going to be the champion of the series for this season. He has hung it up for the remainder of the season so he can focus in on the VCO League and the Pro Series. He has 2,115 points. The battle right now is for second between Jacob Oster, who's not in this race. Oster has 2,046 points. Clindy is third with 1902, and actually Clindy's on the pace to actually hit the 2,000 mark too. If he can get there and get a good couple of races, he will get a lot closer. Right now, fourth is Trost. Tyquilla is fifth. Estrada is sixth. Mitch David is seventh. Probably not after today. Not a good day for him. He finished last. Brian Campbell is eighth. He's not in the lineup. Trey Shadid is in a battle of himself for ninth and 10th. He has his first account and an alter ego account of his. Marrera 11th. Cares 12th. For Porty 13th. Moskowitz 14th. Mark Murphy back there in 15th. And Shimizu in 16th. That's your top 16 in the standings. But the battle really is for second, third, and fourth at the moment.
And who says you can't? Who says you can't fight yourself at times, even in sim racing?
3 drivers with 2,000 points potentially.
Yeah.
That's just a testament, real quick, to the quality and the skill that everybody has kind of developed. I touched upon this a couple months ago when I was in the booth last, but just everybody has stepped up their game on the oval side of IndyCar, and the strength of field numbers prove it. The points prove it now as well too. That is absolutely insane. Yeah,
today is just a reminder on the strength of field is a 41.76. But yeah, everyone has really picked up the effort. It used to be if one person, normally the leader, finished with 2,000 points, that was pretty good. Now the 2,000 mark has been regularly eclipsed by King Robert, and actually it's now being regularly eclipsed by Prince Jacob there. What is Clindy though? The court jester? I don't know, but now he's going to do it. So the top 3 with over 2,000 points. I mean, wow.
And this is why we say, even as a jab at David Reagan, former NASCAR driver, he said that the NASCAR race he was watching on TV back in 2015 was more competitive than Long Beach. Sorry, dude. IndyCar is a lot more competitive now than it used to be.
Yeah, eat it.
Oh, yes.
Eat it. Here we go. Coming to green. After watching that finish at Richmond, just about any NASCAR fan that says IndyCar racing is boring or bad, you can eat it. That finish, if that's how you like your racing, I really feel sorry for you guys. Anyways, back to green. Shadid, Kenworth, Trost, Quilla, Romanzini, Estrada, Rubens, Alexander, Allen, and Collins, your top 10.
Here comes Clendy looking up on the high line already.
What a run.
Big launch there. Can he hold it? Can he hold this spot up on the high line? He's going to lead the lap, probably the first one other than Shadid and a little bit of Stephen Lee under caution, and he does so.
Yeah, he does.
Still, doesn't clear him, and Shadid gets back by. Here comes Trost, though, and Tyquilla getting into the fray as well.
Whoa, I thought Trost was going to go below the line there for a second.
Trost is
about it.
Looking feisty right now. 19 to go.
He got boxed in on the back straightaway. Is he going to try? Is he going to try and make that run on the outside? Look, he's getting close.
Oh, he's way up on that high line there. Not quite enough at the moment, but You just need to find one big run of momentum to get by that stubborn number 1 car, Trey Shadid.
Well, Quilla's in this too.
Been...
Quilla's in this now. Quilla's engaged. He's on the bottom of Trost. It's through the tri-oval.
Ty Quilla looking to the inside for P3 as Clendy and Shadid are side by side once again up ahead of them. Quilla.
Oh, look at the run. Trost on the outside. Oh, it stalls out.
What did he do?
Oh.
Stalled out there.
Yep.
Bruno Romanzini now getting himself into the fray. Meanwhile, Antonio Estrada is getting himself into the fight too. We're getting ourselves into a pack fight to end this race, it looks like. And here comes Trost again, all the way up on the high side, 3 wide for the lead.
It is not the start of the Indy 500.
They were still 3 wide at one point, but now it's back down to 2 wide, 2 rows deep here. Here comes Ty Quilla.
Ty Quilla sticking in that middle groove there. He's going to stay behind Shadid there as he clears Trey Shadid, as he clears Brendan Trost, I should say. And Bruno Romanzini now starting to look on the low line as Ty Quilla moves up to the high side where Trost was before.
And he has a wingman up there at the very least. And he's oh wow! He just cuts across Romanzini.
Yeah, almost Brazilian clears him. Oh my goodness. Ty Quilla now on the low side. He's got the momentum over Brandon Trost. And he's going to be in 3rd position as they go over the stripe. 15 to go.
Hey, LGN, Quilla won one of the races yesterday?
Yeah, he won the first one yesterday, so he already know how to manage him over here, but different thing today.
Yeah, different things today.
Different scenario for sure. And go ahead.
This went from being a 4-car battle down to at least a 10-car battle here. Look at this gaggle of cars going through 1 and 2 here.
11 cars. The top 11 are within 1 second of each other, folks. That's how close IndyCar racing is, even late in the going. And at 215 plus miles an hour, it's always a vibe.
Check it in chat. Careful, guys. Careful. Oof.
Very careful there. Brandon Trost was trying to stick his nose in the middle, and Antonio Estrada is now on the low side. This is for 4th place. Antonio, the number 9 car, started 11th and making his presence known towards the end of this race.
Antonio!
Trost, that was very close.
Looking in chat, Stephen Lee is not very happy.
I don't blame him either.
Oh,
really.
Rubens up in the wall.
Oh my goodness, Urim Rubens. Very close stuff here. Everyone is fighting for whatever they can get.
Herrera, man, he was floating around in the dead last in the field. Now all of a sudden he's in the top 10.
Oh my goodness, Seb Alexander is back.
He's going towards the front.
All the way up to 8th position after being mired in the middle of the top 20.
If Clendy's gonna get this move done, he's got to set it up, coming to the line, carry the momentum, and just get a sniff of draft. It's got to be timed perfect, but he has the momentum, and he's shown it. He just hasn't been able to get that little sniff of draft at the end.
2 wide, 3 rows deep as they go into 1 here, still side by side.
If these boys don't watch it, and there's enough room in between them, Brandon's going to take that spot. He'll go right up the middle. He will go right up the middle between Clendy and Trace. 61 of 70.
He'll take a mile on that. As Clendy
just love
still
our
has
reactions.
a bit of momentum. So does Ty Quilla.
Just like what
I want to move on the high side.
Just like check Wayman, Allen, and Moreira how the battle, and it's very close.
Oh, Antonio Estrada shooting across the backstretch.
Diving move there, not quite enough to keep it alongside Brandon Trost through 3 and 4.
Yeah, there was so much understeer for it. Look at
Trost, I think, was wanting to stick his nose there between Clendy and Shadid. He's getting a lot of momentum here, but it's just not enough to make it work there because we got limited space to work with for sure.
Well, and even up front now, these 2 guys in 2nd and 3rd even have a little more limited space. because they're teammates. So they just cannot absolutely wreck each other. They got to give each other a little extra room. That is rule one, racing with your teammate, is do not wreck your teammate. And Aaron Rubens, I just saw him hitting the wall about a lap or two ago, and all of a sudden he's in fourth spot.
Huge run by him.
Urim Rubens on the move again. Look at this. Up on the high side now. What can he do?
I think he just scrubbed the Firestone Firehawk lettering off of the tires there.
Is that all it takes to go that fast now?
I guess.
Oh, Quilla cutting across the nose of Aaron Rubens.
Almost a Brazilian clear again there as Urim Rubens is basically trying to push Ty Quilla here and get himself into this fight too, so he can fight it out.
It's up there now.
Oh, that was close as well.
6 to go. 5 to go now.
5 more times. Oh my goodness, what is this finish gonna have for us?
This is setting up to be another one of those fantastic Kansas photo finishes.
It certainly is. Trey Shadid has been holding that low side doggedly this whole race. Will it be enough? Kyle Clemworth has been looking for whatever momentum he could possibly get to maybe not clear him, but at least stick his nose alongside him as they cross the start-finish line each lap.
Urim Rubens slammed the door shut on Trost. Trost threw it back, and he's going through the middle here.
There we go.
Oh my goodness, they went 3 wide there, and Brandon Trost gets by Urim Rubens. Ty Quilla has been all over the track trying to look for whatever. Oh, Trost at the wall! Trost smacked the wall in the tri-oval there, gathers it up. It doesn't look like he's hurt the car too badly. Oh my goodness, 3 to go.
Oh, Aaron Rubens.
Oh my goodness there. Urim Rubens and Brandon Trost almost making contact there as Antonio Estrada gets himself in the fight. They're losing momentum though. 2 laps to go this time.
Antonio. Oh, jeez.
Oh my goodness. Shadid, Clemworth, and Quilla, your top 3. 2 laps to go. 26 100ths of a second at the stripe. 26 1,000ths, I should say, as they went across the line last time by. Clemworth looking for whatever scrap of momentum he can, side drafting Trey Shadid for all he's worth. White flag in the air, 1 to go at Kansas.
Don't count out Trost yet, because he's right there in the rear wing of Ty Quilla. Quilla slams the door shut.
Yes, he does. Plendy getting Ty Quilla to push, maybe not quite.
Nope.
Still side by side there. Clemworth. Can he get the momentum on the high side off of 4? Side by side, who's gonna get it? Squeezing him out up to the stripe. Shadid with the win.
Wow.
9 1/1000th of a second over Clemworth. Woo-hoo-hoo. So close.
He led
Another
all
banger.
but 1 lap.
I think it was all but 2 maybe, because I think Stephen Lee stepped out for like 1 under caution. But Trey Shadid, class of the field, pole to the checkers. What a win for our old friend Trace. He's more than just the Talladega Whisperer, folks.
About time we got him up here for something else, but Clinty's going to go down there and celebrate with him, and so is Ty, as those teammates get the 2nd and 3rd step of the podium. Tony Estrada, another teammate of theirs, gets 6th. Jacob Collins, another teammate of theirs, gets 9. So yeah, Tracia did. He did a hell of a job.
Hats off to Ty Quilla, I should say. Hats off to Quilla on this one, because that's one of the best results I've seen him do on the Top Split broadcast for sure. Getting himself a podium, beautifully done by the number 6, and he fought that one tooth and nail.
And let's queue up some replays here, and we'll get into the final standings, and then we'll get into the interview room, which I'm sure we're gonna got some excited guys in there that want to talk.
I think so far is the closest, so I can check everything. It's very close for everything.
0.009 is the margin of victory. We're gonna have that up on the screen right now. Here it is. There it is, .009, and then Quilla, .0061 back to him. And Trost is a tenth off in fourth at .135. So, I mean, the top four, throw a blanket over them. Most of those numbers, you can't blink an eye that quick. But Tracy did with his second win here, third win on the top split broadcast. 2 at Talladega, 1 here. It's the first time since Talladega last season. It's good to have him back in victory lane. We'll talk to him in just a second. Clindy, another race, another podium. That's how you finish in this league. That's how you finish it with these official races. Ty Quilla, another good finish here, coming off a win yesterday. He gets third. Trost fourth, and is returned back to the series after a little punishment time in the penalty box. But it's never bad for anybody to do some time in the penalty box. It refreshes you. So he's back here with the fourth. You're in Rubens. I don't know what to say about this guy. I mean, he started up front with everybody. He went to the back then when he backed up to the front, he put it off the wall. Next thing we know, he's battling for the lead. He finishes fifth. Great job there for Urim. Antonio Estrada, sixth. Seb Alexander, the good guy, he is in seventh. Alan Morera, well, we talked about him. We showed him on the race. He was dead last at one point, just riding it out back there in the back of the pack, and it worked for him. He parlayed that into a top 10. P8 for him. Jacob Collins also started from the rear, and he came to the front. He also up 4 spots to finish ninth. Philip Allen, one of the ringers. I think he might be one of the ringers. We don't really remember seeing him in the top splitter and Indy cars before, so he might be one of the NASCAR guys that decided that, you know what, I'm not going to race at Watkins Glen in the truck tonight. I'm going to come to Indianapolis or come and race the Indy cars at Kansas. So he finished 10th. So that is a good finish for him. He's up 8 spots there at the end. Moving on, Roman Zini, 11th. Vasquez, who started at the rear of the field, he worked his way up 9 spots. He finishes 12th. Murphy with a little contact there with Stephen Lee. Some words were said. I'm sure they'll have another conversation later. I'm sure Mark doesn't mean it. I just know Mark well enough that he probably feels awful, but he does finish 13th. Nathan Serena, he is 14th. Michael Lounsbury in the Larson livery. Hopefully that's the last Larson livery we see this year, but he finishes 15th. Weedman recovers from a wheel DC to come in 16th. For 40, 17th. Ponto 18th. Dustin Cares 19th. Stephen Lee 20th with that incident on the front stretch. And finally, Mitch David, unfortunately, with a little contact there with Ponto early in the race. He lost the right front and he finishes 21st. All right, guys. Interview room time?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Oh, we got everybody in there. They are excited to be here. Let's bring up Ty Quilla. Ty, welcome to the booth. A bit of a party in here. We got Steven, we got Nick, Sudeek, we got LGN, we got Justin, we got me. Congratulations, sir. You having a win yesterday in the first 2 races of this week at Kansas. And then you parlay that into another solid podium here today. Third, talk about your race. Once you got up there with your teammate, you were just kind of slugging it out, but the way that this track is and the way it races kind of had no place for you to go, really. Just kind of hang there on your wingman and just kind of protect him a little bit.
Yeah, that pretty much turned into be the goal. Just kind of protecting the teammate a little bit, and was trying to race with Trost a little bit through there. So yeah, it was really fun. That was a really clean race up there at that end. It was a pleasure racing with all those guys. I wanted to make a move, but same with Brandon. It was too dangerous, and there's only one shot, I feel like, which would have been at the end, and me and Brandon were racing, so I didn't get the shot to try to send it on the apron. But hey, fantastic race to everybody.
You went up 4 spots there at the end, but I think you only had really one incident that happened in front of you. It might have been that Mark Murphy incident. Other than that, how was the racing up there?
Yeah, for the most part, everyone, it was great. It was great racing all around. A lot of good fun. Everyone was racing hard, obviously, but lots of respect out there today. So that was really nice to see. It's always good racing hard, but respectful, unlike some NASCAR people that we know.
Oh, yeah.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Sorry.
No, totally warranted. Congratulations! This is the second podium for you, and in this season at least that I can remember. And it wasn't too long ago. So, are you feeling a bit of momentum now with teammates and organization now helping you get to the front a little bit better now?
Yeah, I definitely think got a little. Oh my goodness, I can't speak. I'm so nervous. Yeah, got a lot of good guys we're working with, so it's helping to put some stuff down a little bit before. So instead of just hopping in the cockpit, right before the race, no testing, get a little bit of practice in. So it's nice to have a little bit of that help for sure.
And we always say it, the more time you stay in these cars, the more laps you put in them, the sharper you get. Shout outs, friends, family, sponsors. Anyone want to say hi to before we let you go for your P3 here at Kansas?
Yeah, shout out to all my teammates. Rogue Racing, fantastic racing with you guys as always. Trace, great win. Kyle, great podium. Trust, great racing as well. Sadiq, what's up, man? In the booth here.
Hey.
Pet Shower, hey, and all the rest of the guys. But yeah.
Hello.
Just looking forward to the next race and next season. So.
And next up is we're done. Next week is the last of the short ovals, and then one more intermediate at Charlotte to finish out the season. So I'm not sure how you do on the short ovals, but I know these intermediates are definitely your strength. So you got one more to kind of get some more points there towards the end and get into the higher spots in this championship. But congratulations, man! You definitely earned it. It's good to see you here on the bottom step, and it's good to finally get you in the booth again one more time this season.
Thanks. Always good to be here, guys. Have a great night, everyone.
All right, and let's bring up Glindy. Glindy, got you here in the booth. Again, it's a bit of a party, and you're just joining it now. We got Nick in here, Nick Sudik, Stephen Larkamp, Luis Gonzalez Nunez, Justin. So first of all, what the heck is that livery that you're running?
I wanted to run a Kyle Larson car, Gary. So,
That's so awful.
I
got the
mean,
Jeff Gordon
totally
flames. It's got the papaya orange. It's got your 2021 Cup Series champion, 2024 Indy 500 Rookie of the Year, Fast 6 qualifier, Kyle Larson right on it. Hey, you complain about those Larson cars showing up and not knowing what they're doing. Hey, this guy won the Brickyard 400 this year, Gary. I gotta put him on the car. You gotta, pay respect to the king. Hail to the chief.
Maybe
the goat on the car, man.
Maybe as we get closer to Christmas time, maybe we'll have there's ugly Christmas sweater contest. Maybe we'll have an ugly livery contest. This has got to be one of them. But even with an ugly livery, you got to put creativity into that. So wow, yeah, you must have been late at night for you. You must have been lacking some sleep or something. But
I did that right before the race, Gary.
I could tell.
I'm very sorry. I did not actually worst to first. I thought that if you disconnected after the qualifying session, it kicks you to the back, but it did not. So my time stood. I said I was going to try to worst to first today. I 10th to 2nd is the best I can manage, and I'm sorry I didn't live up to my promise. I'll do it. What's next week? Milwaukee. I'll do it at Milwaukee. I will actually do it at Milwaukee.
Gonna be tougher on the mile oval, but let's talk about your race. You got up to the front.
Okay.
You got him. You improved 8 spots. You really got up there rather quickly, and then once you got up there, you stayed up there. But it's a pretty typical pack race at Kansas. The top wasn't working. You got the top to work for you one time. You actually
Gary,
led a lap one time.
Yeah, I took away the Grand Slam from Trace. That felt awesome. But the top is the best line here. It's not faster unless there's traffic or lapped traffic. I got to 2nd and 3rd because of the top, because I can roll the top better than anyone here. Seriously. And that's kind of why I wanted to run the Larson scheme here, because he does it better in NASCAR than anyone else. So, he is currently my racing idol. So I took lessons learned from Young Money to rip the fence and get up there on the boards and get it up on P2. And I'm sorry to everyone watching, including my mother, who had her fingernails all chopped off that I could not finish 0.0009 thousandths of a second faster.
Better, yeah. Too
Do
bad.
everything I can to win one of these SOF broadcast races, but now I'm not P3, Gary. I'm P2.
All right, so
Someday.
what you need to do then is go to one of these top split NASCAR races then, and you need to have like Newgarden's face all over the car or something like that.
I could do a Juan Pablo car. I could do.
Oh
an AJ
no, the
Foyt
NASCAR
car.
guys will just
I could do
laugh
an
at Juan
Andretti car.
Pablo. They'll laugh at Andretti too. Marco, I don't know. Michael never did NASCAR. They
Do
might not
AJ
know who
Foyt
Michael.
car?
Well, that one they might take seriously. That one they might take seriously. Well, shout outs, friends, family, sponsors. I know we got the fam watching, got the teammates out there. Go ahead and shout them out.
Mom and Dad on the couch, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I hope I put on a show. Sister, brother, nephew, wife, love you all, every single one of you. I do this for fun, and I hope that I can bring a smile to your face, shouting you out. Any of cousins or extended family or friends from back home in Illinois who turned on the broadcast, thank you so much for being here. Please press the like button, subscribe to ERN and to the P1 YouTube channel. P1 is one of my sponsors on my car normally, and I took them off this week for a funny gag joke. So if you can go and subscribe for them, that would make it all worth it. It would make it all worth it. Everyone would forgive me. And then Julia's Kitchen TW on Instagram. Go follow, like, share, interact with the content. She's pushing 60,000 or 60.
Yeah, 60,000. Yeah.
Yeah, not 600,000, not 60 million or whatever that would be, 60,000. But yeah, 60K. If you could be the lucky 60,000th subscriber, and I will give you a high five. So thank you, Gary. I will see you guys next time, and I will be P1 after worst to firsting at Milwaukee. I promise.
Yeah, it's just like Babe Ruth calling a shot a week in advance. Congratulations. We'll check you at the next one. He's already punched out of the chat.
Brother cut a wrestling promo.
I
there
know.
with the last
I
30 seconds.
love it, man. That's when you grab the mic and just let her rip. Well, let's bring down Trace into the booth here. Hey, Trace, welcome to the booth. We got Steven Larkamp, Nicholas Sudik, Luis Gonzalez Nunez, Justin Petschauer, myself. Congratulations. No longer the Talladega whisperer. Apparently, you could whisper a little bit of Kansas.
Well, it drives like Talladega. So maybe that meant something.
Well, talk about your race. I mean, you led all but 2 laps. So, I mean, you were up front for just about everything. I mean, I don't even think any close calls came your way other than maybe getting on and off of pit road and maintaining your lead. So, I mean, talk about it up there. Did it get lonely?
I mean, that was the plan. Get on the pole and just burn my fuel. I know everybody's going to be saving, so I'd rather be out front and take my chances.
Well, and early on, it was you and Murph, and then after Murph got a little contact with Stephen Lee, it became you and Clindy. We've seen quite a few races where it's been you and Murph, and then you and Clindy up there. Talk about racing with those guys, and after a while, even though they race you hard, you got to be pretty comfortable with them racing around you because, well, you know the chances are they're not going to wreck you, but they're going to race you hard.
Well, definitely. I mean, obviously that helps whether it's even Andy or Mark. And plus, I knew what they were doing, just saving fuel. I mean, I probably was the only one in map 1 the entire time. So I knew they weren't gonna do anything. It's kind of the same thing I did last night. The first session was on the pole, and we had a caution right before I pitted, and I hit on pit road. So, like you said, pit road was my what I was really focusing on.
Well, I mean, once that first caution happened and when it happened, everyone hit pit road. You should have been good to go after that. I mean, were you doing any saving that second stint, or were you good to go? You should have been good to go, I thought.
Oh no, yeah, I was good to go, no problem. Especially when they shortened it 5 laps.
Yeah.
So,
which I'm not sure why they did that, but you'll take the win nevertheless.
Oh yeah, I'm not complaining, especially after last night.
Well, go ahead and give your shout-outs, friends, family, sponsors. It's been a while. I think it was last season Talladega we had you here, so it's good to have you back. Definitely now we can classify you as one of the Kansas whisperers. So go right ahead, man. You earned it.
I'll keep adding to the list. Nobody really to thank except you all. Appreciate what you're doing, taking the time. Just makes it a lot more fun and exciting.
Well, it's our pleasure, and it's good to see you on the racetrack. Good to see you get another win, and then that battle with yourself for P10 in the points. I think you might have put a little separation there, so congratulations on that battle as well.
Great, thank you. I mean, this is what happens when I don't get wrecked or get screwed by untimely caution.
There you go. He puts a dub together. Congratulations. Yeah. We will catch you at Milwaukee. The pace will be a little bit slower, but I'm sure you'll do just as well there. We will see you next week.
All right. I guess I may be talking to you then. We'll see.
We'll see. I'll be happy to see him in the booth again next week. Guys, we'll go ahead and start with Nick, and then go LGN, and then Justin, and then Steven. Final thoughts here. Great race, but, a little bit of rubbing out there. But we saw the bad guy, who really wasn't that bad, but had a bad, fast car. Work his way from the far mid pack, let's say that, back up to the front and challenging there for a near win, but Charles comes up a little short in fourth for his first ride back in the series after a week in the penalty box.
Yeah, that sorry, that thought my mic was muted. Hey, yeah, I was very impressed by the way that everybody kind of conducted themselves. A lot of respect there, a lot of daring moves, a lot of give and take there. It just goes back to what we were talking about mid-race, was just the skill of these drivers and the amount of driving that they do with each other. Next week will be even wilder. Like, it's always a wild card, no matter what week you come into this series, and who knows, we might even have some new surprises. We might even have a first-time winner, and Clendy sounds like he's hungry. I don't think he's gonna try last the first challenge. I think he knows that if he's on it, he's on it. He's due for a win.
That's gonna be a tough one at Milwaukee, coming from the rear, because it's really, really tough to pass there.
And these cars, they love to kick out on you, and you got to drive them on the edge on short ovals like that. So
and corners
we will see
exits of corner 2 and 4 there. The back ends like to swing out on you. Well, good luck to you this week. The last oval of the Pro Series. We know your strengths on the oval, but you're getting better on these road courses. Then we're going to go to Road America, and then we just found out that Mid-Ohio is one of your strengths now. So maybe finish on a high, maybe get a shot here for being one of the fastest 33s to get one of those coveted Pro licenses in the Pro Series. So best of luck. We'll continue to be watching and rooting for you, sir. But go ahead and get your practice in, because we know that this next race at Gateway is going to be super critical for you.
Thanks. I got my my adult beverage, and got the setup about to load up here. Gonna do a little testing. So
nice.
Yeah. Cheers. Hope everybody out there like, subscribe. You know the drill.
Of course, we appreciate all that. LGN, what's the point situation look like, you think, after this? Does is there any more of a battle between Clendy and Oster, or is it still looking like it's Oster's place to lose for second place for the remainder of the season?
What Oster won yesterday, he won a lot of points. So basically, yeah, it's gonna be like that. So it's gonna finish like this. So because he got like a 200 something yesterday, Oster. I'm gonna tell you exactly how he did. 276. So it's really a lot. So it's like a 160 or 100 something points. So
that's pretty big.
It's gonna be kind of hard. Yeah. But it's okay. It's like a good approach for the next season for Clendy. So it should be need to push for the next one. And the race today is I enjoy a lot. So a really fun race, and I don't really enjoy is Milwaukee, and I really enjoy it in DW12 for sure. But in the
yeah, you in the short ovals in the DW12, man, you were fast.
Yeah, but this thing have a adjustment and things. People is really 100 years over than me, so yeah, that's a different thing. So, but I really enjoy it. Let's see what's happened next one. I hope it's gonna see a lot of people and a lot of battles, and I hope not too much yellow flags because for sure it's short track.
Yeah.
And I hope at least 3 or 4 yellows at least, maybe. But it's 85 laps, so I hope none.
Justin, last of the NASCAR tracks, at least for a week. We'll go to Milwaukee and then back to finish up at Charlotte. But not a bad showing for the regular IndyCar guys, but a couple of ringers snuck up in there, didn't they?
Not that I saw. I didn't recognize any I did not recognize any names from the NASCAR side. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure who Phillip Allen is in 10th, but I haven't recognized him in any of the IndyCar races. But welcome to the top split, Phillip. In his maiden trip here, whether he raced IndyCars or stock cars before, but he got himself a P10. Also in there that we don't see very often is Nathan Serena. I'm not sure if he's an IndyCar guy as well, but Michael Lounsbury, I'm pretty sure would be a NASCAR guy based upon the livery. But it's always good to see the guys make the crossover and try the IndyCar for a change, because you've been saying it for a while. And a lot of the guys are kind of tired of the new generation car, and they want to try something different.
Yeah, a couple of guys that I used to run with in the NIS that either were teammates of mine or were not teammates of mine, just fellow competitors. They basically have said, we just don't like how the next gen Cup car drives, or in this case, I'm going to just call it what it truly is, the 7th generation Cup car.
Yep.
And they're literally branching out, and they've seen me run my mouth in a good way about how the competition is in the iRacing IndyCar series now that we got the license back and everything and what have you.
Yeah.
And I've actually seen more guys that I've run against in the NIS pop into the iRacing IndyCar series and actually enjoy it more than the next gen Cup car. So like I said at the start of the year, the pendulum is swinging the other way towards us in terms of exciting, competitive, you name it, types of racing. Is I quoted it, and somehow somebody in the IndyCar social team picked it up as I quipped the iRacing IndyCar series, the ultimate thrill ride, and I saw it pop up, and it's like, oh,
yeah.
You guys must be watching my social media accounts or something, because they used it for Laguna Seca 2 years ago.
Nice. Well, we know you. We know you're a beast out there on the Twitter and X now. You're the beast out there. You're an influencer.
No.
You're an influencer out there.
We do not call it X. It is Twitter.
All right, Steven. Your final thoughts on today's race should be mentioned, and before we sign off, Wes Weidman, despite the DC with the wheel, got the purple lap, so a little something there for him. We know he had the pace, just a little bit of a mechanical there mid-race to kind of ruin your evening. But your final thoughts about the race, and then moving on to Milwaukee, and we'll wrap this thing up.
Yeah, I think a lot of the stuff that I wanted to say has been said, but at the same time, like, this really shows just how great the competition has become in the IndyCar series overall, because when you have events like these that are beating out the truck series in terms of attendees, but also getting incredible racing all throughout the event from some really top quality drivers, this really is showing that that really the IndyCar series is on its way back to really a rightful place for being one of the most to becoming a respected figure of the iRacing community once more, especially after the saga we had the last year and a half or so with getting the IndyCars back on here in official capacity. So this really does show how strong the community is, how great the competition is, and how it's got a lot of excitement going forward here, because this has been at least like several weeks in a row on bigger tracks like these, like Kentucky, like Kansas, like Auto Club. These guys put on an incredible show, and we were not disappointed tonight. It's been another banger, and we're off to Milwaukee next week. Very different animal to be sure, but I think it's going to be just as fun.
Yeah,
I will quit on that.
Yeah.
Another reason why we're seeing more participation, why we're seeing participation really explode and grow, especially with the IIS. One thing about the IIS that is completely different from our stock car counterparts over in the NIS Open and Fixed. All of our races are full distance races
100%
outside
of Indianapolis.
outside of Indianapolis for the month of May on the Oval.
It was
But every other
500K.
race-
Yeah.
Yeah, but every other race, full distance. They're wanting to run full distance races almost on the outstick completely. They just don't like running the demo derby stuff anymore over in the tin tops.
Yeah. Understood, and I appreciate them all showing up. We welcome everybody, and everybody has showed up new on the Top Split. Welcome to the broadcast. Good to see you. So that's it for tonight. We got 2 more weeks to go, Milwaukee and then Charlotte. Then we're off a week, and then we start Season 4 of 2024. Again, your podium from Kansas, Trey Shadid with his 2nd win here on the Top Split this year. 3rd win that I could think of that we had him here on the Top Split, 2 at Talladega and 1 here. So congrats to him. Clindy with yet another podium, and now Tyquil is starting to get up there and start racking up some podiums, finishing 3rd for him. So that's your podium. Join us again next week for round 11 of the IndyCar Oval Series Tuesday night Top Split right here on ERN as the teams and drivers head to the historic Milwaukee Mile for our last short oval of the season. Coverage, as always, begins around 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, it's 8:15 p.m. Eastern. And I'll be right here on the Elite Racing Network channel until the end of the season. So a couple more races that will be here. As always, you can find the correct broadcast times in your area at youtube.com at youtube.com/@Elite Racing League, or just do a keyword search, Elite Racing Network. One of those 2 ways will get you to the channel. Hey, we love bringing these races to you, but they are not easy and require time and money to produce. Because of your generosity and donations, we've been able to bring you IndyCar Oval action nearly sponsor-free. If you share our passion for the sport of IndyCar and enjoyed our coverage of the IndyCar Oval Series Tuesday night Top Split, please take time to visit our GoFundMe page. We do this for free for the community because we love it. The link is in the description, and donate to our 2024 broadcast fund. We do realize times are tough, so any contribution will be greatly appreciated. We thank you for watching and making us part of your Tuesday evenings each and every week. Now, as you know, we try to play the YouTube algorithm game, and it's not an easy one, so please help support P1 and ERN with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know what you thought of tonight's race, and if you enjoyed tonight's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. And everyone that showed up in chat, again, thank you very much. It's always fun interacting with you. If you're new, click subscribe here while you at it. Hit the bell for weekly reminders so don't miss out on more P1's other iRacing programming, and also here on ERN, including round 3 of the highly competitive Elite Racing League's Warriors for Peace IndyCar Series from the Motegi Road Course. Join Derek Vance and myself on the call this Thursday starting at 7:45 p.m. Eastern right here on the Elite Racing Network channel to learn more about the Elite Racing League and how to sign up for their upcoming or their current IndyCar season. Join the Discord. The invite is in the description. Track cams for this race are provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. To get the most out of your iRacing experience with Whiplash Sim Cams, to learn more about Whiplash, like them on Facebook or follow them on Twitter or Instagram. Links are in the description. So for Stephen Larkamp, Justin Petshar, Nick Sudik, the infamous LGN, everyone here at P1 and ERN, I am Gary Gotzo saying all good night and thanks for watching, and to all of our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, come home safe. Catch us again right here in Milwaukee for the next race of the IndyCar Oval Series Tuesday night Top Split. Good night, everybody.